guys, we are back with another song by Eminem. And which one are we doing today?
Today we are up to track 12 of the Marshall Mathers LP2, which is The Monster.
Like with Rihanna?
Yes.
I mean, Rihanna. Her name's
Yeah,
not Rihanna, it's Rihanna. I didn't know that, but I do now.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. But yeah, I know this song. Lately we've been having people say that they're like, "Oh, I can't believe that like they don't know this song, blah blah blah." Like half the time people are writing that on songs where I literally say, I know the song.
Yeah.
So if you're not watching like the first literally 3 seconds of the video, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, those
But I know
people,
this song.
but those people aren't going to hear you say that
No,
right
they're
now.
not. I'm hoping that they will.
Yeah.
I know it.
Yes. I mean, everybody knows this. This was a huge
Yeah, it was on the radio.
monster hit, literally. It
Yeah.
was all over the place. So,
You can't not know this song. So effectively, this is a breakdown video. I still
yes.
write reaction on it though, because that's still technically a reaction. I don't know every single word to the song.
Yes.
Just the chorus, really.
All right.
Yeah.
So we'll get started.
Yes. And this video is sponsored by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is a great website where you can purchase tickets for like sporting events, like music concerts, game, literally anything you could buy a ticket for. You can go to that website. We actually used it when we went to see Chris Rock, Kevin Hart, and Dave Chappelle at Madison Square Garden. It was a very seamless and great experience. Nothing to worry about. The whole transaction was easy. It was very good. Wow, I'm so bad at this. But yeah, so use our promo code with Smith for $20 off your very first order. And there's a link in the description as well. And you can also use that same promo code for 10% off all orders on Chops, which is grass-fed beef jerky, which I have here, which is amazing. This is the beef and jalapeno. And you will get 10% off all orders and an additional 10% off subscriptions. And that's also using the same promo code with Smith. And the link is also in the description below if you are interested. And definitely check out our Amazon storefront. A bunch of like our favorite things are in there. Like for the one girl that follows us, there's a bunch of my favorite makeup items. And for James, there's a bunch of like really cool sweatshirts and things like that.
Yes.
And don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on all social media channels if you want to. Our handle's right there. Okay, enough of that.
All right. Here we go. The monster or monster. I'm not sure if it's the or just monster. We'll find out.
Hmm.
Monster.
Monster.
I'm friends with the monster that's under my bed. Get along with the voices inside of my head. You're trying to save me, stop holding your breath. And you think I'm crazy, yeah, you think I'm crazy.
I wanted the fame, but not the cover of Newsweek. Oh well, guess beggars can't be choosy. Wanted to receive attention from my music. Wanted to be left alone in public, excuse me. But wanting my cake and eat it too. And wanting it both ways, fame made me a balloon. Cause my ego inflated when I flew see, but it was confusing. Cause all I wanted to do is be the Bruce Lee of loosely abused ink. Use it as a tool when I blew steam. Woo! Hit the lottery, ooh wee. But with what I gave up to get, it was bittersweet. It was like winning a used me. Ironic, cause I think I'm getting so huge I need a shrink. I'm beginning to lose sleep. One sheep, two sheep, going cuckoo and kooky is cool key. But I'm actually weirder than you think. Cause
I'm friends with the monster that's under my bed. Get along with the voices inside of my head. You're trying to save me, stop holding your breath. And you think I'm crazy, yeah, you think I'm crazy. Well, that's not fair. Well, that's not fair.
no,
Okay.
Wait, they have the lyrics wrong.
You're referring to Rihanna's part?
Yeah.
So there's controversy over that.
What do
We'll
you
discuss it
mean? There's not.
when we get to it. So it starts off with the chorus, Rihanna. I'm friends with the monster that's under my bed. Get along with the voices inside of my head. You're trying to save me. Stop holding your breath. And you think I'm crazy. Yeah, you think I'm crazy. So so this was written by not Rihanna or Eminem, this chorus.
No.
Yeah, I forget who, but it
Um,
obviously applied. So there is some, I guess there's some debate as to what the monster actually is, or if it's more than one thing.
so I never thought the monster had to represent anything. I always thought she was trying to explain how she's different, or maybe like, you know, like comfortable with things that most people aren't comfortable with. Like most people are afraid of the monster under their bed. She's friends with the monster under their bed. Like I don't personally think that it has to represent
Well,
like
what kind of
something.
monster is it? You
I
know
don't
what I
know, like the
mean?
boogeyman, like uh, Slender Man,
Because like
Leatherman.
Eminem raps, and he's referring to the monster too. And it's like, what
Yeah.
is it? Do you know what I mean? So some people think it's his alter ego, Slim Shady. Some people think it's fame. Some people think it's just the devil or anything,
So
or
that's what it definitely could be for the song. But like if you read like the first two lyrics, it's I'm friends with the monster that's under my bed, get along with the voices inside of my head. You're kind of describing that you're like crazy. Even though she says like, and you think I'm crazy.
yeah, it's just a matter of like, oh, okay, so there's a monster under your bed. What kind of monster is it? Do you know what I mean? It's like that's kind of the question.
Boogeyman.
Could be. So yes, so that it starts off with Rihanna singing the chorus, and then Eminem gets into his first verse. And he says, I wanted the fame, but not the cover of Newsweek. Oh well, guess beggars can't be choosy. So it's interesting.
Yeah, like saying he wanted to be known, but not like that well known.
Yeah, because I think so. When you're in the news, that's different than being famous. Because typically, if you're in the news, it's for
Yeah.
like arrests or divorce or, criminal charges or whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. But he's talking about like being famous for like his rapping, right? Not like,
Yes, that's what
yeah.
that's the point.
Yeah.
He wanted the fame. He didn't want the Newsweek stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, I'm understanding it incorrectly then.
What do you mean?
I'm thinking he's saying he wanted the fame, but not the cover of Newsweek, meaning like he wanted to be famous, but not like one of the most famous people in the world.
So
I guess I'm
maybe,
reading it wrong.
maybe. So I mean, he goes on to it. He goes into it more, and then
Okay.
so then the beggars can't be choosy. So it's like, yeah, which is another one of those expressions that he uses a lot. It's like, you want something, but it's not exactly the way you want it.
Yeah.
You don't get to have it exactly. Then he says, wanted to receive attention from my music, wanted to be left alone in public. Excuse me. So
So maybe it is for both, like, because he's literally basically saying like he just wanted to be known for his music, but he didn't want to like make it so that it was impossible for him to go to like the supermarket by
yeah,
himself.
for sure. So that's a very common theme in his music, you know what I mean? And then by extension, the effect that it has on his daughter because of the fame
Yeah.
and stuff, you know what I mean? And then yeah, I like the excuse me, because like the way so he wants to be excused from his fame technically, you know what I mean? And then it's like, excuse me?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of when he says excuse me, it's kind of like, like other people are like, well, excuse me. You know what
Yes.
I mean?
Yes, and it does carry on into the next line, which is, excuse me for wanting my cake and eat it too,
Yeah, exactly.
and wanting it both ways. So yes, that's yet another expression. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Meaning, so for the longest time, I had trouble understanding what that meant.
So the way I interpreted it, I've never looked it up or really asked anyone, but in my head, it's like you can't have a full piece of cake in front of you and also eat it. If you eat it, it won't be there anymore. So you
Exactly.
either eat it and it's gone, like obviously you still have it in you, but if you're gonna eat it, it's not like physically there anymore. So
So
you can't eat it and have it unless you get like another piece of cake, but that's like a different conversation.
So that's interesting that you imagine it as a piece of cake.
Oh, you thought it's like a whole
I
cake?
always picture it as a whole cake. Yeah, because that's in
Oh.
my mind because a whole cake is like a beautiful presentation.
Well, it
And
still
once
works. You can't have a whole cake and eat the whole cake.
that's true. And then yeah, once you do it, it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So, but yes, so he does that very common expression and then wanting it both ways, meaning the fame but being left alone. Fame made me a balloon because my ego inflated when I blew. See, but it was confusing because all I wanted to do was be the Bruce Lee of loose leaf. Abused ink, use it as a tool when I blew steam. So yeah,
That's a good line.
the balloon. uh, the balloon scheme there. Ego
Yeah.
inflated, and then when I blew, you know what I mean? So like blowing up a balloon.
Yeah, that's a good
And
one.
then the Bruce Lee of loose leaf. So Bruce Lee, the martial arts, he's the badass,
Yeah, so
and
like the king of like the biggest, I don't know.
he's like the biggest martial
Yeah.
artist guy, and he kicks ass. So he wants to, fuck up the loose leaf, and that's why he carries on that scheme to abuse the ink. And then he says he uses it as a tool when I blew steam. So it's like a coping mechanism for him. You know what I mean? He deals with his life stresses by rapping and
Yeah.
writing. And he says, hit the lottery, ooh wee. But with what I gave up to get was bittersweet. It's like winning a used mink. So it says me. MINK is the lyrics. So a mink coat, if
Yeah.
it's used, it's like, oh, this is nice, but it's not
Not
new.
brand
And
new.
it's somebody else's. Yeah. He says, ironic because I think I'm getting so huge. I need a shrink. I'm beginning to lose sleep. One sheep, two sheep. So yeah, getting so huge, shrink, which is so funny.
Yeah.
Like his ego, but also like his status in the culture, and then the shrink would make his ego smaller, but actually just to someone to talk to deal with,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
problems. And then he says, going cuckoo and kooky as Cool Keith, but I'm actually weirder than you think because I'm. So Cool Keith is an old school rapper. So I think he rapped weird. Like he had like different alter egos and stuff, but I do think he was either speculated to, or it is known that he was like in like a psych ward or something.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know. I never knew anything about him.
Yeah, so that's why he's saying cuckoo as Cool Keith, right? And then I'm weirder than you think. And then we get back to the chorus, which we read, and I'm assuming this part is what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Because she goes,
nothing.
well, that's not fair.
Yes, so I always thought that too. If you look up online, apparently Rihanna had a post about this years ago, and apparently the song booklet, it says that the lyrics are, well, that's nothing, even though almost everybody thinks she's saying that's not fair.
Yeah, I've always thought that.
Yeah.
But what does that even mean now? Well, that's nothing.
So,
They should just change it to that's
and you
not
think I'm
fair.
crazy, well, that's nothing. Oh, so no. So if you think that's crazy, that's not the least of it. Meaning
True.
that's nothing. You know
I
what I
feel
mean?
like,
That's the meaning. All right. So we will pick it up here. Here we go.
no, that's not fair.
Well, that's not fair.
No, I ain't much of a poet, but I know somebody once told me to seize the moment and don't squander it. Cause you never know when it all could be over tomorrow, so I keep conjuring. Sometimes I wonder where these thoughts spawn from.
Yeah, ponder it. Do you wonder? No wonder you're losing your mind the way it wanders.
I think you were wandering off down yonder and stumbled on to Jeff Van Vondren. Cause I need an interventionist to intervene between me and this monster and save me from myself and all this conflict. Cause of everything that I love killing me and I can't conquer it. My OCD's talking me in the head, keep knocking. Nobody's home, I'm sleepwalking. I'm just relaying what the voice in my head saying. Don't shoot the messenger, I'm just
I'm friends with
the
the monster that's under my bed. Get along with the voices inside of my head. You're trying to save me, stop holding your breath. And you think I'm crazy, yeah, you think I'm crazy. Well, that's not fair. Well, that's not fair.
Call me crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going with that. She's saying, well, that's not fair.
Yeah,
That's
so
not fair.
apparently that's not what she's saying, but
That's what she
I
said.
agree. I still hear that too. So once I saw that she said no, I am saying nothing. I'm the one that's saying it. I can hear it, but it still does sound like not fair.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so Eminem starts off the second verse. Now I ain't much of a poet, but I know somebody once told me to seize the moment and don't squander it, because you never know when it could all be over tomorrow. So he's referring to himself.
Yeah, and it also sounds like he's talking about the other song. What's the
So
song?
he's referring to, it sounds like two songs, honestly.
Oh,
So in the video, he reenacts the thing from Lose Yourself.
Yeah.
So he's rapping, he's literally in the same gear and shit,
That's the
the same
spaghetti,
background.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Sing for the Moment with the Aerosmith sample.
Mm.
The line is, he's like, that's why we seize the moment, try to freeze it and own it, squeeze it and hold it, because we
Okay.
consider these minutes golden. So it's funny. He's referring to himself, and I mean, other people have said that before him, but
Yeah.
based on the video, he is referring to himself. Then he says, so I keep conjuring. Sometimes I wonder where these thoughts spawn from. So it's interesting that he used the words conjure, right? That like
Yeah, like
evokes like spirits, like paranormal, supernatural shit. And then he does the thoughts spawn from. So it kind of is like a play on that, right?
yeah.
And then after he does the conjuring, we get the devil voice. So it's like a spirit talking.
And it says
And
spawn, like Satan's spawn.
yes, and then the lyrics are a little off here. The devilish voice says, "Yeah, pondering, will do you wonders." Ponder like apostrophe LL.
You're like
Pondering,
wondering.
pondering will do you wonders. No wonder you're losing your mind the way it wanders. So that's interesting that's what it says. Pondering will do you
Yeah.
wonders. It's no wonder you're losing your mind the way it wanders.
Oh, and this part, it sounds like Eminem is singing it, and then there's like a voiceover of Eminem singing it. It's like him and himself singing the song together,
Oh,
right?
is there two vocals?
Yeah,
I don't even,
right?
I never even, let's listen. I never even I just always pick up on like the devil-ish voice. You know what I mean? So I'm actually curious if there's two vocals. There might be.
Yeah, ponder it, do you
No,
wonders,
not
no wonder.
here, like at the beginning of the verse.
Oh, no, no, I ain't much of a poet.
Yeah.
No, I ain't much of a poet, but I know somebody once told me to seize the moment and don't squander it, cause you never
I hear two voices.
There's like an echo or something. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I don't know. I don't know what that is. That is interesting.
Yeah.
So on the heels of The Way It Wanders, he goes yodel hee hoo, and he says, I think are those the lyrics? Yodel hee hoo. I think it went wandering off down yonder.
What did?
So his mind
Oh,
wandering.
okay.
So yeah, he does the yodeling and says that it went wandering off down yonder. So that's the point. Like he says that his mind wanders, then all of a sudden he's yodeling in the fucking song, right? And then he's like, "Oh, it went off yonder." You know what I mean? Which is like a funny little scheme that he does.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Off down yonder," and stumbled onto Jeff Van Vonderen.
I don't know him.
So it's very, very next line because I need an interventionist to intervene between me and this monster.
He did the intervention show?
Yes. Yeah, he's famous for that show. He's the interventionist. So, yeah. And then so he's like, "Oh, I need him to get between me and this monster and save me from myself and all of this conflict because the very thing that I love is killing me and I can't conquer it." Okay, so that's the thing. Based on this line, it's like, okay, this monster sounds like it's fame,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like on this particular part. And then it's like, oh, is it just fame in general? Is it his Slim Shady character that brought him the fame? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like not clear exactly what he's referring to, but we get it generally.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, "My OCD is conking me on the head," and it does that weird sound effect, the dun, 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 like
Yeah, like a knocking.
yeah, and it like cuts out. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And then, like you said, like the knocking effect, and then it says, "Keep knocking. Nobody's home. I'm sleepwalking." So that's cool. That the keep knocking, you could take it as multiple meanings. You know what I mean? So the knocking of the OCD hitting him on the
Yeah.
head, you could take it as like, oh, you could keep knocking me. You know what I mean? Like you can't knock the hustle
Oh, yeah.
like
And
that.
then just like literally knocking.
Yeah. And then he's like, nobody's home. I'm sleepwalking. I'm just relaying what the voice in my head saying. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just friends with
The monster.
yes. All right. We will play out the rest of this song here.
Yeah.
Well, that's not fair.
call Call me crazy, but I had this vision. One day that I'll walk amongst you, a regular civilian. But until then, drums get killed and I'm coming straight at MC's. Blood gets spilled and I'm taking back to the days that I get on a Dre track. Give every kid who got played that pumped up feeling and shit to say back to the kids who played them. I ain't here to save the fucking children, but if one kid out of 100 million who are going through a struggle feels it and relates, that's great. It's payback. Russell Wilson falling way back in the draft. Turn nothing into something, still can make that. Straw in the gold jump, I will spin. Rumpelstiltskin in a haystack. Maybe I need a straight jacket, face facts. I am nuts for real, but I'm okay with that. It's nothing, I'm still friends with
the monster that's under my bed. Get along with the voices inside of my head. You're trying to save me, stop holding your breath. And you think I'm crazy, yeah, you think I'm crazy. I'm friends with the monster that's under my bed. Get along with the voices inside of my head. You're trying to save me, stop holding your breath. And you think I'm crazy, yeah, you think I'm crazy. Well, that's not fair.
It still sounds like that's not fair.
So interesting.
I'm just gonna keep saying it anytime I hear that song.
To me, it sounded like the last time sounded more like that's nothing, more so than the other times, which is weird.
No.
All right. Third verse, Eminem comes in and says, "Call me crazy, but I had this vision one day that I'd walk amongst you, a regular civilian." So I mean, it's relatively straightforward. He just wants
Yeah, like he just wants to just not be noticed, like even if it's just one day.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I don't know if he meant this at all, but for me, when I hear the word civilian, I automatically go to like military because that's the term they use for like
Oh.
non-military, right? And on the
Mhm.
heels of that, in my head, he goes regular civilian, right? But until then, drums get killed, and I'm coming straight at MCs, blood gets spilled. So like in my mind, at least, I'm associating that he's not a civilian, so that means he's a an army operative, armed
Oh,
forces, and killing and blood gets spilled. You know what I mean?
okay.
Again, I don't, he could be just equating his rapping to that.
Yeah. But or it could also mean like he just wants to be a regular person and until then he's still gonna like murder the beat of his songs and, come at anyone.
Yeah, now that's definitely is what he means.
Yeah.
But I was just saying, like, I
Oh,
didn't
like
know if,
if it could mean that too.
yeah, like he was drawing parallels between him and, military.
Yeah,
Not sure.
maybe.
But yes, straight out MCs, blood gets spilled, and I take it back to the days that I get on a Dre track, give every kid who got played that pumped up feeling and shit to say back to the kids who played him. So he's talking about early on in his career when, Dre produced everything
Mhm.
and, he would get through to the kids, the youth
Yeah.
of America. But on the heels of that, he says, I ain't here to save the fucking children, but if one kid out of 100 million who are going through a struggle feels and relates, that's great. It's payback. Russell Wilson falling way back in the draft, turned nothing into something, still can make that. Straw into gold, chump. I will spin. Rumpelstiltskin in a haystack. So do you know who Russell Wilson is?
Yeah.
So he's a quarterback in the NFL.
Oh,
He's married to, I think, Sierra, I want to say.
I didn't know
He's
that.
married to one of the famous R&B singers, I think, or was at some point.
Hmm.
Or Christina Milian, I forget. He's married to someone.
Yeah.
Either way, so he was a quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. I don't know if he still is, but he fell back in the draft like way later than he should have, right? So that means that there's a bunch of teams that passed him up. They just didn't want him, right?
Okay.
And then the Seattle Seahawks eventually got him, and he won a Super Bowl for them within like 2 or 3 years of him being in the NFL.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so that's why Eminem is equating himself to that. He's saying it's payback, falling way back in the draft. So, oh, you didn't think I was going to do anything, and then
Yeah, and
I
then he
did.
does.
Yes. And then I like the bar where he does, still can make that straw into gold. I will spin Rumpelstiltskin in a haystack. So
That's a good line.
yeah, Rumpelstiltskin. Was he the one that actually turned the straw to gold, or wasn't it somebody else in the story?
I just remember him being a little asshole who wouldn't tell her his name.
Yeah, so it was the girl that did the straw
Yeah,
spinning, right?
something like that.
Yeah. And then he says, yeah, Rumpelstiltskin in a haystack. Maybe I need a straitjacket. Face facts. I am nuts for real, but I'm okay with that. It's nothing. I'm still friends with the. So
Monster.
that's interesting. So he says it's nothing here, but it's clear the way he means it. I am nuts. I'm okay with that. It's nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's nothing that bothers him.
Yeah. And
Or like nothing he can't deal with.
yes. And then the obvious fact of being nuts, and then the straitjacket. It's all
Yeah.
straightforward. And yeah, that's it. Eminem, kind of adds some vocals with Rihanna in the chorus randomly at
Yeah,
the
that
end.
was cool. And the beat changed a bit.
Yeah, a bit
Yeah, I like
for
that.
sure.
So yeah, I haven't heard the song in a really long time. Probably haven't listened only if you play it,
I don't really
or
listen to it.
even like the last time it was on the radio, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so good. I always forget about it. And I am very surprised that she's not saying, well, that's not fair. I always thought those were the lyrics.
Yeah.
And when the song's on the radio, it was around the time when I like prided myself on usually knowing um the correct lyrics if I were to sing a song, and I'm surprised that I don't know
Yeah.
the chorus.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
agree. And I mean, you're not alone. There's people who know that Rihanna posted about it saying these are lyrics, and they're like, I think she's wrong.
I think so too.
It's so funny though. But yeah, this is a great song. I don't listen to it. Like I'll skip it usually if it comes on because this is another one of those songs that got like played out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It is so good though. The chorus is
It
cool.
is. It's awesome. The verses are great. Like it's really good. It's a classic. I mean, with the exception of that one song that they did together, every song they do together is a hit.
Oh, Numb or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
that was just
You
a
actually never heard that song?
no, never.
Neither did I though.
Yeah,
Didn't know it.
we did a breakdown of it.
Oh yeah. If you haven't seen it, I will make it the next suggested video. It's called Numb by Eminem and Rihanna. And he didn't know it, I didn't know it, and like half the people commenting didn't know it. So if you want, you probably might not know it either.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yes. Oh yeah, and then before we go, if you guys are this far into the video still watching, some people make requests that we do certain songs that we already did already, which
Yeah.
is fine. But so I didn't know until like a year or two ago, if you go to the person's channel, so you would go to our channel with Smith, and then you go to playlists. If you click that section, it'll be listed by artist, and you could just click the artist, and it'll show you all the songs we did by that artist.
Yeah, someone actually commented on our last video being like, "You're doing all the wrong Eminem songs. You should really look at his earlier work." And I'm like, "Bruh,
Yeah, we did all
where
of
you
them,
been?
pretty much.
What you doing?"
Yeah, so check that out. Playlists on whoever's channel you're trying to look at. If they use playlist, it'll be sorted there
Yeah.
by however they do it.
Or you could even, there's the major search button for all of YouTube, then there's a little search button for all of
The
the,
channel.
like the channel videos. You could also do that.
Yes.
Mini search. So yeah, don't forget to use our promo code for SeatGeek and Chomps. The links are in the description below. Promo code is with Smith. Check out our Amazon storefront. Real cool stuff. I need to update it, but there is good stuff in there right now. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you. Bye.
Bye.